It is your Classic Metal Show right here on theclassicmetalshow.com. That, of course, old school Exodus from the fabulous Disaster release, a tune called Verbal Razors, and a guy on the line right now to maybe trade some verbal razors with me. It's the one, the only, is Tom Hunting of Exodus. Tom, how are you, man?
I'm doing very good. How about yourself?
Awesome, my brother. Awesome. Well, crazy times in the Exodus world, man. A move that people never thought would happen. A tour that I think everybody thought we had seen for the last time in 1984. Just a lot of crazy stuff going on, no?
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, it's kind of like, I guess, throwback month in the Exodus camp. But no, it's good. It's everything's good.
Well, Tom, let's just break right into it. Let's get the hard stuff out of the way first. Talk about Rob Dukes leaving, because obviously Rob, spent a decade with the band and helped build the following, or strengthen the following that always followed Exodus.
I love Rob, and I'm super proud, and I stand by the music we made with Rob. It's some of the best. It helped us like form a new sound of Exodus, that to kind of mix with the old. And, I love the music that we got to make with him. It was amazing.
Definitely. Now, from the sound of it, from everything that I've read, which is, the dirt stuff that's out there, which is probably 1% true and 99%, people assuming stuff, but it doesn't seem like Rob was happy about leaving, but at the same time it didn't seem like he went out, bad-mouthing anybody either.
No, I mean, this is a brotherhood, and we're all grown men now, and then the days of like mudslinging and all that are over, and as far as like all of the trolls that hang out on Blabbermouth, I think it's a certain, because there was some, I don't really read that or do social media like that. I don't partake in Blabbermouth or Facebook or any of that shit, or stuff. Sorry. But a lot of it was, hurtful. I mean, Rob's got thick skin. Zetro does too, but a lot of it was assumption and hurtful, and to all those people, it's like, I read it for one day, and that was the day it was announced, and I never went back. I thought the comments were stupid and childish, and I don't think it's like our true fans, because I think it's if you look at the other ones, Loudwire or whatever, it's the same 150 people, that are eating Hot Pockets and living in mom's basement.
Right.
It's like, go outside, go kiss a girl, There's a lot, there's a lot bigger things out there that people should do for their lives than assuming what's going on.
Sure.
And I'm not gonna sling any dirt, but it just, that day kind of bugged me.
Well, sure. And with anything else, especially with a band, a legendary band like Exodus that has such a big profile, anytime you guys make any change, people are going to have an opinion. It's just that now everybody can spit it out, regardless of if they have any backing behind it or not.
That's true, and like you said, everybody can spit it out. But I don't think it was everybody that was spitting it out. It was just, like I said, it was the same 150 people who, I mean, why else can people comment so quickly on something they don't know anything about, rather than, and they're just hanging out on that site waiting for shit to happen.
Right.
So,
definitely.
Anyways, but this is where we are now, and
sure.
Going forward, the album's sounding really good and heavy, and we worked really hard on it. This is the longest we've ever spent on an album cycle, regardless of the changes that we've been making.
Sure.
We've never spent 3 months on an album. It has nothing to do with Gary playing with Slayer. It's just we wanted to take our time on this one and make it special, because this is studio album number 10.
Sure.
So
no.
I mean, I don't really count the Let There Be Blood one, because that was remakes. But
right.
As far as brand new Exodus material, it's number 10, and it's super important to all of us, and I'm happy to be in a band that's actually been around long enough to make 10 albums, even though I didn't play on every one of them. So.
Sure. Well, Tom, talk a little bit about Zetro coming back to the band. Not to dig into the mudslinging. I don't want you to rehash the past, but safe to say a lot of stuff was said from both sides. How do you guys get in a room now, 10 years later, and say, okay, well, whatever we all said in the media and wherever is the past, but now is a new day, and now we move forward as a band once again?
The latter part of your statement is very true, and it's I'd say we've all grown as people, and communication within the band has improved, and it's this is a pretty passionate sport we do, and it's it's emotional, and I don't know about the dynamics of other bands, but in our band, it's very much a brotherhood. I mean, we love each other, regardless of what we ourselves might even say in the media. I think Zetro's coming back. It's so far it's been super healthy, and he sounds great. He's singing great. Mm-hmm. Attitudes are really good, and I think as far as our past, I think as we've all grown as people, so has communication within all of us. So, I think that you can't not tell somebody stuff if
right
if you're feeling it, and I think as we're growing older, we communicate better.
Well, that's cool. Well, let me ask this, Tom, and this is strictly a guess, and I could be dead wrong on it, but was there any part of this decision that stemmed from you guys hearing what Zet was doing with Hatriot and how close it was or is to Exodus material, where you listened to it and you were like, damn, this would fit so good back in the pocket again?
You know what? I'm really not that super familiar with what's going on with Hatriot.
Okay.
I think he's got a killer band around him. I mean, 2 of them are his kids, so it's right. Some people breed to make slaves for the family. He bred to make a band. I think that's awesome. But no, from what I did hear from the Hatriot stuff, I liked it. I also liked the work he did on the Tenant record.
Right.
I thought that was some of his best singing ever.
Sure.
And he's a lucky guy to be in his 50s. I mean, anybody who's still able to do this and do it at a high level as we all get older, it's it's pretty awesome. It's a sign that I guess we kind of know what we're doing.
Sure.
Sure,
definitely. And without question, the energy is probably more there than I can ever remember. I mean, I've seen the band basically, I think 13, 14 times at this point, dating back to the old San Francisco days at the Omni or the Stone or whichever one it was was that the late 80s or early 90s.
Yeah.
And I literally saw you guys last month at Rock on the Range, and it just seems like there's more energy now than there was when you guys were in your mid-20s.
Well, I don't know about physical energy, but I think it's just we're a tight band, and this lineup has played together for a while now, and everybody works really hard on their craft, and that was a great show too, by the way. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. Dude, I got to tell you, and I know you didn't see it from where you were. I was standing back right on the side of the soundboard, and right in the middle of you guys' set when all the chaos was breaking out in the pit. In comes a lady with a stroller. Was
there a baby in it?
Yeah, there was a baby in it, in the stroller. Oh, we were like, oh my God, somebody's going to get killed. So everybody was booing this lady as she walked by us, to try and get her kid out of the pit, right?
What was she thinking?
Wait a minute. So it gets even better. Not 2 minutes later, another guy comes walking up, holding the hands of his kids that had to be 3 and 5.
Wow.
It was insane.
You know, if we see that, we'll usually put
security
those
on
kids
it.
on stage at the end of the show to like hit a final chord or whatever. Lee's been known to drag kids on stage,
Right.
and you know, but we'll also try to provide them with a safe spot to witness the show rather than in the pit with a baby. You know, I'm all for starting them out young, and you know, I love the fact that we still get younger fans coming to the show, but that's a little too young.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, man. It was definitely nuts, but
if they're in diapers, they don't belong in the pit.
right. And that's either too old or too young, right?
Totally. Yeah, we all come into this world wearing diapers, and we go out wearing diapers.
Right, exactly. Well, Tom, the big news of the week is that big tour announced with Slayer and Suicidal Tendencies. You know, obviously I just saw pretty much that tour, you know, a couple weeks ago, but it seems like you guys must have formed a good chemistry or had a good discussion amongst agents or whatever that thought that would work. Talk a little bit about this tour and how it's gonna set up for the new record, and B, how Gary's gonna find the energy every single night to do double duty.
Well, I mean, he's only got to play like, you know, 35 minutes or so with us. So
Okay.
But that Slayer set is grueling, man. That thing's a burner.
Yeah.
Because I watched it every night on this little test run we did on the tour, and you know, they're just like bang bang bang, song after song, and they're all like, it's a very hit filled set, without very much downtime. But I think we're looking forward to the tour. It's killer. I mean, it's, you know, it's an amazing metal lineup that I think people have been waiting for. So we're happy to be on it, man. It's crushing every night. I mean, when we did the test run of it here a couple months back, it was sold out every night, and those were all like, you know, kind of B markets.
Sure.
So we're looking forward to taking it out again.
Now, when you take it out, will you guys be putting out any of the new songs for people to hear? Anything new on this one, or not quite yet?
I think well, we have, if our new album will be out by then, so we're gonna have to, like, you know, showcase some of that as well. But we're also playing a short set, so, you know, I mean, we don't fight a lot, but one of the things we do go around about quite a bit is what's going to be in the set and what's going to be out, and it's like, you know, because people want to hear the classics, and it's like, you know, if you have a half hour, you have to play Toxic Waltz, you have to play Bond of Blood, right? You know, so but you know, there's worse problems a band can have than too much material to choose from. You know,
sure.
So, you know, what would you like to hear?
Me personally, Cage in Hell has always been my favorite tune. So, but I haven't heard that in quite a long time.
We'll start a petition. Say, Lee Altus, we want you to learn Cage in Hell.
There we go. Very cool, dude. Well, dude, talk a little bit about where people can go to follow up with all the comings and goings and get their updates on the new record and everything else.
I'm not the guy to talk to you about that. I don't really do a lot of social media. I'm kind of a hillbilly.
Oh, nice. But the website is Exodus Attacks. I would imagine people can go there, right?
Yeah, and and I think the website is getting better too. We have new management now, so we're working on all that kind of stuff.
Now that management, by the way, that's Chuck Billy's management, isn't it? Chuck Billy?
Chuck is part of our team. Yeah.
Sure. Now, how does that even work? Because
he's our West Coast affiliate.
but he's like also in a band himself. How does he have time to pull that double duty?
He just schedules it properly. I mean, he's been a big part of what's been going around here lately.
Okay.
And you know, he might be a few guest surprise backup vocals on the record, and I don't, you know, he's a smart guy. He's a super smart businessman.
Sure.
As well as, you know, an old friend of the band. So, you know, we trust his influence.
Right.
For sure.
Definitely.
And you know, we're happy to be working with him.
Sure, definitely.
You know, he kind of like helps us in ways that we weren't able to help ourselves before. Like, you know, like if we're about to make a mistake, he's like, hey, dude, I went this route before. You might want to check this out instead. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
sure. Well, very cool, man.
Good to have that experience and a voice,
Sure.
working with us.
Definitely. Well, dude, as we said at the beginning, lots of things going on with Exodus. People can visit exodusattack.com to get information on the band. And I'll tell you what, Tom, before we let you go, I got to ask you what's known as the traditional classic metal show question. I don't think we've asked you this one before, but I'm sure you have an answer. How has Lemmy from Motorhead influenced your career?
Oh, my God. I mean, Lemmy, invented a genre pretty much. He was a big influence on our band because, like, Motorhead took a genre, we, at our most formative time in our lives, like, as musicians, like, learning how to play, bang, out comes Motorhead. And, along with, some of the other English bands, Discharge and Exploited,
right?
Like all of that stuff. I think he was the first to combine, like, maybe a more punk rock style and infuse, like, classic rock into it. You know what I mean? And he'll tell you himself that they're a rock and roll band,
right?
But they're a rock and roll band that obviously they listen to a little bit of punk rock too.
Sure.
And kind of infuse that. So very influential on us, I think.
Definitely. Very cool, man. Well, dude, as a tradition on the show, we always let the artist pick a closing track. Since we don't have a new record to pick, you can basically pick anything you want from Exodus and maybe tell us a quick story about it to wrap this up.
Let's see. How about Iconoclasm?
Okay, and why that one?
Because it's a song that, like, when we were in the writing stage of Exhibit A, it came together pretty quick. Like, I had a drum beat that I'd been playing since I was like 17, and I was sitting there in a room with the rest of the band. We're like, we're trying to, like, figure out where this other riff's gonna go, and there's this drum fill, and Gary, like, put this riff to it, and it's just one of those songs that kind of wrote itself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
And it's fun when that happens because it's a groove. Some of the other ones are work.
Right.
Putting them together, some of the other ones are work, but
Sure.
this one kind of wrote itself.
Excellent. Well, let's check it out right now. This is from the Atrocity exhibition, Exhibit A. This is Iconoclasm right here on your Classic Metal Show.